Hurricane Milton is set to make landfall on Wednesday in Florida, in areas which are just starting to recover from Helene. It is continuing to strengthen and is now the strongest storm to occur anywhere on the planet this year. Here's Todd with more.
In Pinellas Park, Florida, just across the bay from Tampa, residents use large pails to fill as many sandbags as they can. Hurricane Milton, which has already exploded into a Category 5 storm, could hit the Tampa Bay area directly. It would be the first major hurricane to strike within 50 miles of Tampa in more than 100 years. Some residents in at least 6 counties told to evacuate. In Hillsborough County, the evacuation order is mandatory in some places. That means authorities cannot force people from their homes, but
if you remain there, you could die. My men and women could die trying to rescue you.
What makes this especially dangerous in places like Tampa and Fort Myers is that those cities are still recovering from Hurricane Helene, which has killed more than 230 people in 6 states, with the death toll still rising. For those in the mandatory evacuation zones who decide to stay put, Florida officials have a dire warning.
You probably need to write your name and permanent marker on your arm so that people know who you are when they get to you afterwards. And we are still seeing, as we're uncovering folks on the beach who thought they could stay there, and the storm surge got them.
With Milton forecast to make landfall late Wednesday, Governor Ron DeSantis warns the window for evacuation is closing fast.
You have time to execute your plan, but you got to do it now. Time is going to start running out very, very soon.
Helene made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane that caused widespread damage, leaving tons of debris that still hasn't been cleared. Debris that residents worry could still harm people if it starts flying around when Milton hits.
The debris on the beach and whatever's going on is a little cause for concern because there is not enough time and not enough manpower to take everything and put it where it needs to be off the island.
The international airports in Tampa and Orlando closing ahead of the storm. Tolls are being suspended on major highways throughout western and central Florida to help those evacuating. Governor DeSantis says the assets that Florida lent to North Carolina for Hurricane Helene have had to be brought back to Florida. But North Carolina is still dealing with the horrific aftermath of Helene. More than 100,000 customers are still without power there, and around Asheville, dozens of people are still missing a week and a half after Helene tore through the area.
We're still working to reach communities. We still have search and rescue occurring as we speak.
Well, Milton is now a Category 5 hurricane. The National Weather Service warning it could be the worst storm to hit the Tampa area in more than 100 years. Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Chad Myers. Chad, good to have you with us. So a second major hurricane in as many weeks, again headed for Florida.
Yeah, and just to go back to that 102 years from the last major hurricane, think about how many people didn't live there 102 years ago. I mean, millions of people didn't live there because this just became a popular place not that long ago. This storm right now, Lynda, is 180 miles per hour. I can do the calculations. That's 290 kilometers per hour, the strongest storm so far this year in any ocean on the planet. We don't know exactly what the storm is doing right now, but we will. The last Hurricane Hunter aircraft took off and left there about 2 or 3 hours ago, but a new plane is on the way. Can you imagine trying to fly in a C-130 propeller airplane through the middle of a hurricane that's 180 miles per hour? All I got is no thank you. So, but these men and women out there, they do it for us. They do it to keep us safe. This storm went from 50 miles per hour to 175 miles per hour in less than 48 hours. Rapid intensification. And it will make landfall on the west coast of Florida. We're not going to miss this. This is going to be a big deal. We're going to get a 5-meter storm surge. We're going to have winds of 110 miles per hour, well in excess of 160 kilometers per hour, well inland, not just along the coast. This has got enough momentum that it's going to take the hurricane winds all the way across the state. And then when you talk about 10 to 15 feet, we talk about, 4 to 5 meters of storm surge. That's a lot, considering we just had a record surge with the storm that we were just talking about there on that last package, and that record surge was 6 to 7 feet. Now we're talking 10 to 15. So people that just got wet are going to be over the top of their house. We're going to lose people, or at least lose homes, if we don't get the people out of the way along this west coast of Florida. And there's your 102-year-old storm. Right now, we do know where it's going, or at least most of the models do. It's going to be very close, right to that worst case scenario for Tampa, pushing all of that water into that Tampa Bay area, across the islands there, the beautiful barrier islands from Dunedin all the way down toward Anna Maria, possibly toward Sarasota. And if you talk about the land, the beach, it's about 5 feet above sea level, 2 meters above sea level. All of a sudden, you're going to get a wave or waves that's going to go over this thing by another 3 meters. There's not going to be a lot left. There's not going to be any place for people to be. That's why they're telling everyone there, at least on these zone 1 and 2, or A and B as we call it, they need to leave and leave now. Good news is with this is that this did not rapidly intensify and then 24 hours or 12 hours later make landfall. This rapidly intensified 2 days ahead. That's why the governor is saying you still have time to go if you need to go. And it's going to be a lot of rain. Whether it's going to be a flooding, whether it's fresh water or salt water, this is a major event. This is the biggest hurricane to hit Florida, I think, in my generation, without a doubt. And Andrew was a big storm, and Michael was a big storm, but this is going to do many, many billions of dollars more damage than either of those storms did.
Wow.
Lynda.
I really hope people heed that warning and evacuate now. Chad Myers, thanks so much for that update.
You're welcome.